So when he becomes skilled in manufacturing that product, or he becomes skilled in giving that service to the customers, then there is a threat that he may start duplicating that product. The firm which is granting the license to another firm in a foreign country, we call him as the licensor, and the firm that is acquiring the rights of the patents or the technology or the know-how, he is called as the licensee. If the trade secrets are revealed to outsiders, then this may cause severe damage to the business of the original licensor or the franchisor. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In this session, we will be having a discussion on the other modes of entry. So the next mode of entry into international business is licensing and franchising. Now, what is the meaning of licensing and what is the meaning of franchising? Let us see. Licensing is a contractual arrangement in which one firm grants access to its patents, trade secrets or technology to another firm in a foreign country for a fee called royalty. Now, licensing is here one firm, it will grant access to the trademark or patent or technology to a firm in a foreign country for a fee called royalty. So that is what we mean by licensing. So we can enter into international business with the help of licensing. The firm that grants such permission is called as the licensor. The other firm that acquires the rights to use the technology or patents is called as the licensee. So here we should understand that the firm which is granting the license to another firm in a foreign country, we call him as the licensor, and the firm that is acquiring the rights of the patents or the technology or the know-how, he is called as the licensee. And here we should understand that it is not only the license that is acquired, but also all the rights of the business. Next, franchising is a term very similar to licensing. So one major distinction between the two is, while the former is used in connection with production and marketing, the term franchising applies to service business. So in case of, what is the main difference between licensing and franchising? So in case of licensing, we are granting permission for production. Whereas in case of franchising, it will be granting permission for services. So this is the main difference between licensing and franchising. So in case of licensing, the main firm, it will have all the patents, trademarks and rights over a technology, which it will be granting to the local manufacturers of the foreign country. Whereas in case of franchise, so they will be granting the franchise to the local manufacturers of a different country. So in this way, license is for production, whereas franchise is for provision of services. Now, licensing and franchising. So franchisers usually set strict rules and regulations as to how franchisees should operate while running their business. Now, compared to the license, so in the case of licensing, we should understand that the patent or the trademark or the technical know-how will be acquired by this local manufacturers of the foreign nation. But whereas in case of franchisee, so they will be strict rules of how to operate the business. They will set down the rules and regulations for operation of the business. So this is the difference between licensing and franchising. Then next, a franchising agreement involves grant of rights by one party to another party for use of technology, trademark and patents in return of the agreed payment for a certain period of time. The parent company is called as a franchisor and the other party to the agreement is called as the franchisee. So just like the licensing agreement what we have, so we have the franchising agreement. Now the person who is granting the franchise, so he becomes the franchisor and the person who is getting the franchise, he becomes the franchisee, and this will be for a agreed period of time and for an agreed fee. Next, the franchisor can be any service provider, be it a restaurant, hotel, travel agency, bank, wholesaler, or a retailer who has developed a unique technique for creating and marketing of services under its own name and trademark. So this franchise, it can be granted to any of the service providers. So it may be even a play home like situation, or it may be any hotel, or it may be any travel agency, bank, or any retailer. So anybody who is in this service business, he can always acquire a franchise and continue the business. Next, we have some examples of this licensing and franchising. So we have McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and Walmart are examples of leading franchises operating worldwide. So when we have this Walmart or the Pizza Hut or the McDonald's, so they are all international companies. They are working through licensing and franchising. Next, let us see what are the advantages of licensing and franchising. So in this licensing and franchising, the licensor who sets up the business unit and invests the money, has to usually make no investments abroad. So the licensor or the franchisor, he need not make any investments abroad. So the person who is acquiring the license, that is the licensee or the franchisee, so they will be making all the investments in the business, and they will be paying a fee to the licensor or the franchisor, and they will be running on the business. So here the licensor or the franchisor, he will not have any say in the business, so he will get his royalty or the fee for the amount. So it is therefore considered as a less expensive mode of business entering into international business. So this kind of a business is very cheap because it does not involve much money, and only thing is you will be getting revenue from all the licensees or the franchisees. Since no or very little investment is involved, so licensor or franchisor is not a party to the losses that occur in the foreign business. So, but he will be getting fixed fees in advance and also has a percentage of production or sales turnover. So, this is one of the cheapest form of entering into international business. So, the licensor or the franchisor, he need not make any investment in the foreign countries, and he will be always getting a fixed percentage of the fee whenever he grants a license. In addition to that, he will also be entitled to a fixed percentage of turnover of the business. Next, since the business in the foreign country is managed by the licensee or the franchisee who is a local person, there is lower risk of business takeovers or government interventions. So, the next advantage of this licensing and franchising is, since the business is managed by the local manufacturers, so there will not be any threat of business takeovers or government interventions. So they will be locally operating in their own countries. So as such, they will not have any governmental intervention, or there will be no threat of business takeovers. Next, so he being a local person has greater market knowledge and contacts, which prove quite helpful to the licensor or the franchisor in successful conducting of market operations. So the licensee or the franchisee, so he will be a local person who he will be in that business in that area for a very long time. So he will know actually what is the market, how the market is, etc. So he will be having a better knowledge of that particular market, and as such this will prove an advantage for the licensor or the franchisor. So he can conduct his marketing operations successfully in that particular area. Then the next advantage is, as per the terms of the licensing and franchise, only the parties to the agreement are legally entitled to make use of the licenses or franchisers copyrights, patents, and brand names in foreign countries. So the next advantage of this licensing and franchising is only the licensee or the franchisee, they are able to or legally entitled to make use of the brand name, trademark, or technology. Over and above than that, they need not, nobody else can make use of this technology. Now let us look into the limitations of licensing and franchising. So when a licensee or franchisee becomes skilled in the manufacture and marketing of the licensed or franchised products, there is a danger that the licensee can start marketing an identical product under a slightly different brand name. This can cause severe competition to the licensor or the franchisor. So whenever the licensee, so when he becomes skilled in manufacturing that product or he becomes skilled in giving that service to the customers, then there is a threat that he may start duplicating that product. So he may duplicate the product and sell it at a slightly different brand name, and this can cause severe competition to the licensor or the franchisor. Now, the next limitation is if not maintained properly, trade secrets can get divulged to others in the foreign market. Such lapses on the part of the licensee or franchisee can cause severe losses to the licensor or the franchisor. So, whenever the license is given to a foreign market, or this the trade secrets can be revealed there. So, there is a danger, and if the trade secrets are revealed to outsiders, then this may cause severe damage to the business of the original licensor or the franchisor. Then, the last limitation is over time, conflicts often develop between the licensor, franchisor, or the licensee, franchisee over issues such as maintenance of accounts, payment of loyalty, non-adherence to norms relating to production of quality products. So, the last limitation of licensing and franchising is there may be a conflict between the licensor and the licensee or the franchisor on the franchisee. So, on what issues there may be conflict? One is regarding the royalty fee he has to pay. Secondly, the adherence to rules and regulations of the licensor. And thirdly, the maintenance of accounts. So, on these three issues mainly, there will be a conflict which may result in the breakage of the agreement between the licensor and the licensee. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you.